Hello friends, in this video we will see how to set up uh, Cygwin. And before going to steps of how to set up Cygwin, let me explain you what is Cygwin and how you can why it is better to set it up. So for example, as an IT professional, um, whether you are a developer or a tester or a production support, any hands-on role uh, typically has to work with servers that are hosted remotely. And those servers that are hosted remotely can run Linux, Unix, Windows, any other flavor of Linux, Unix. So most of the servers are Unix and Linux based, and a few of them are Windows. And you might have to interact with with the uh, with the Windows servers, with the Linux servers on day-to-day basis. And typically, the tools you use to set up Windows are let me open. Let me do this. So we are talking about Cygwin, and typically use PuTTY to connect to remote servers, and then use WinSCP or FileZilla to copy the data. And also you use DOS prompt to ping and telnet. These are the typical things you will do from your Windows laptop to the Linux environment. And by using Cygwin, Cygwin is a Linux emulator where you can run Linux commands, Unix commands, and all those things. And Cygwin is considered as advanced console which can understand the Linux. So without getting into Cygwin, what you have means if there is no Cygwin and if you want to see your file system on your Windows laptop, what you will do is you have to go to the DOS prompt by hitting Windows R button and typing CMD and hit enter, and you will end up in DOS prompt. You can run commands like dir, cp, mv, etc. Copy, move, etc. To copy the files, move the files, and do and, and, and do many other things. So, but if you have to write script, DOS prompt or Windows shell is not that flexible. For that reason, there are many advanced shells like Git shell, PowerShell, etc., which are enhanced versions of DOS prompt where you can write some Windows-based shell scripts. But Cygwin is a full-blown Linux emulator, so you can run all the Linux commands, Unix or Linux shell commands. You can write Linux or Unix scripts. You can log into the remote host. You can copy files without using WinSCP or FileZilla, etc. So now we will see how we can set up Cygwin. So you can go to Google. You can go to Google, hit enter, and then you can search for Cygwin. You can select and you can click on the link, and let me zoom out. And most of the current Windows laptops are 64-bit, so preferably you should install 64-bit Cygwin. This is the 64-bit version. You can select this one, and you can click on save file. And once you click on save file, that setup tool will be downloaded. the setup tool will be downloaded into the downloads directory in our Windows, which will look like this. Once it is downloaded, I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. Once it is downloaded, you can double click it, hit S, and then you can click on next. And then you can actually select install from internet, which is the default. Or if you want to download all the packages, you can do that. It will take very long time. It will download all the packages which you need not even look at in your lifetime, which are not necessary for most of the stuff. And but if you prefer that, you can download it and then you can select install from local directory. But I'm using install from internet. Click on next, click on next, click on next, click on next. So it will give you the mirrors. You can choose whatever mirror you want, and then you can click on next. So this one is actually downloading the base setup tool, and once that is done, it will show you a bunch of packages, and then you can select whatever packages that are necessary. Okay, it will just take a moment. It's just 1.2 megabytes file, so we will wait until this is done. It is almost done. 9900, yeah. So it will show packages like this, and by default it will select default packages, and you can click on all, then it will change, and it will install everything if you change it to this, and then you can reinstall, you can uninstall the existing packages, but we need default. So once you select default, you can click on next. If you want to customize some other package, you can expand it, and you can see what are all being installed under that. You can skip whatever you do not want, or you can add whatever you want by just clicking on those. Okay, and then you can click on next, and it will take a little time to download all those default packages. So that is fine. So there is a little small error. You will not see that error when you are doing first time, as I already have Cygwin installed. It is showing up that error. So it will take a while, and once it is done, you will see this. You can click on this to create an icon on the desktop and add it to the start menu if you want, and then click on finish. Okay, now it is installed. So you will see the icon on the desktop if you select those two check boxes, and you can double click and it will show the prompt like this. So the first thing you can do is, if you are not comfortable with the look and feel, you can right click on the top frame or whatever it is, the menu bar or whatever it is, and then you can click on options, and then you can increase the text font size. You can decrease the font size. By default it will be 9 point, but I have increased to 14 point previously. By clicking on this select, you can adjust your font size, and also if you want to use a different font, you can do that as well. And looks will tell how should your foreground look like, how should your background look like, and you can change all the settings, and you can you can make it as per your interests. You can make the look and feel as per your interests. Once you click OK, now if you see, you can run ls-ltr command, which is a Linux command. And when you launch it, you will be in the current directory or home directory. You can say pwd, which says /home/visva. So first you need to have a little bit of knowledge about differences between the file system represented in Windows and Cygwin. So for example, if you see when you launch Cygwin, it is showing you the home/visva as the directory. Whereas if you go to your Windows Explorer and if you go back, you will not see. If you go to C drive, you will not see the home directory here. So somehow internally it will manage it, but the file system actually starts with slash as in Linux, and in Windows it is not slash. So the way they have addressed the C drive with in Cygwin is you can run cd c:// command, and so this is how Cygwin will see the C drive. So if you want to go to C drive, either you have to do cd space c:// or you can do cd cig drive /c, and then you can run lsltr command, or you can use any other Linux command. You can set up SSH, you can set up telnet, you can automate the scripts, you can run commands like find. So find it is actually getting me all the files in my Windows laptop. So this is now, as you can run all the Linux commands, you can test your Linux scripts on your Windows laptop itself before deploying it on or executing it on the target servers. Okay. So there is one more thing which you need to remember. Sometimes it requires in Windows, if you have to execute certain commands as administrator, you have to open the tool as run as administrator. So in like updating the host file, etc., you can actually right click on this and then select run as administrator. And now your Cygwin will open as administrator, so you can take care of all the administrative means all the you can run all the commands that require administrative privileges also. So this is about Cygwin. In the subsequent videos, we will see how Cygwin can be used to replace PuTTY, to replace WinSCP or FileZilla tools by setting up SSH tools. And also we will see telnet, how to set up telnet on in Cygwin, etc. And then we will see lot more other content which by having the knowledge which can improve the productivity on daily basis. I hope you will enjoy the